Hi everyone. We're cutting the BS today, and we're diving right in because we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. So buckle up. I'm Lyndsey.
I'm Jordyn.
And this is Are We Still Recording? A podcast about a podcast. And boy, oh boy, do we have one for you today.
Yes.
Also, chat, just let us know when the mics cut out because we're not sure what the charge looks like on them.
That's true.
So just, comment when we go silent.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I would like to say, though, we're driving, so I'm sorry as per usual because I know the audio is not super great when we drive, but here we are. And two, I do want to hear about your gardens, so, just let me know how that's all going as the weather warms up and all that kind of stuff, so just let that comment
That is still open. All of my pea sprouts have sprouted, and they're very, very tall now.
That's fair. So.
I'll have peas. Yay! I'll have little sugar peas and beans and corn and squash.
But guys, so as you know, we have completed our high beat combat of the distraction. Now,
it took 6 sessions, 6 weeks,
5.
I thought it was 5, but someone said
5.
6 last night.
It might have been me and my emphatic.
There was a lot going on.
There was. We finally completed our high beat combat, and so we are done with the distraction. Our high bees, other than a little wrap up, are donezo. And yeah, we're here to talk about it, guys. So we left you with Baru doing his. Are we still recording?
Yes, we are still recording. Yes.
We left Baru using his pearl of power, giving up his life,
physical form,
and destroying the crawling king, Torog.
Yep, punched through his chest cavity. Mouth cavities?
Cool. Great question.
It was a cavity.
Cool. So then we are basically told, you're not getting a short rest, you're not getting a long rest. If you do, you're basically out of the fight, which makes sense, right? This is a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to get ourselves going as quickly as possible. We do exit combat, so our concentration spells like Holy Aura and your
Twilight Sanctuary,
thank you, did drop, which is fine. And we did a little bit of preparation before the next combat.
Jazz saved all of our asses collectively.
So we did either healing potions, some more preparation spells, whatever else it was that we needed to do. I can't remember everything that was done, but probably did the warding bond?
Warding bond stayed up that entire time.
Okay, cool.
So that's just a thing that stays until it is either dismissed or something.
Yeah.
There is a time limit on it, I'm pretty sure, but it's a very long time.
Yeah. And so there was a cool descriptive scene that was basically you could see the walls of Gordranus and you could see layers of archers on the walls, and they were basically blackened out the sky with the arrows that they fired on us, and Bahamut spread his wings and a big shield blocked us and saved us from that. And that was kind of our super sick intro is Bahamut, because we weren't really sure. We couldn't feel Bahamut, we couldn't feel Melora, we couldn't feel anyone to know for sure if they were okay,
which gods were hanging out with us, which ones survived, and where we were at.
Yeah.
And because the rain had stopped, post combat with the Crawling King, Cord's storm that he had been using to kind of keep us covered had lightened and then stopped.
That's right.
And so that had me on the back foot,
is he okay?
Is he okay? Is Bahamut
Sky Daddy,
okay?
are you there?
Sky Daddy, are you there? Bahamut, are you there?
Melora,
it's me, Margaret.
Are you there? Who's there?
Is anybody still rolling with us?
Can anybody hear me?
Because we're about to do it, and then we get to that battlefield, and Bahamut's I got you, fam. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And wing buffeted the arrows out of the sky, because that would have. Ooh, that was so cool.
Yeah,
it was so cool to live in that moment.
Yeah, that was cool.
Ooh, and then I'm rethinking it, and also props to Mans for the excellent speech he gave pre-battle.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I can't wait to rewatch that episode and, rewatch.
You better not cut it out. He better not cut that speech out.
Man, why would you cut it out? Like, if you cut it out, at least give it to us.
Yeah.
To have.
Yeah.
Please.
Agreed.
Thanks. Like, you can cut it, because then it can be just for us.
Yeah.
But then let it be for us, thanks.
Yeah.
I need that. And we're preparing. And the armies start, porting in.
Yes. So then we can see, we're like I think we're a mile away.
Yeah.
Ish. And like, you could just see the armies getting onto the battlefield and basically just this massive scene beyond us. And then coming towards us, there were
all the armies of Gordranus.
Yes. Well, then we saw there were three NPCs. I mean, three enemies that were across the battlefield and coming.
I thought that they all jumped off of someone's back.
Oh, they might have.
I'm pretty sure that's what I remember. I'm pretty sure that's what I remember.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, like shook them off of him, like they were riding on him because they all needed piggyback rides because they're little big back.
So I'm gonna have to meow that one.
That's okay. Baby back meow.
Perfect. But they ended up storming across the battlefield to us. Is a giant one-eyed ogre.
It's just a big boy.
Big boy.
He's just a big boy.
He has a spear.
Some
little boots. And it was Gwumsh.
Gwumsh. Gwumsh. His name is Gwumsh. His name is not Grumsh. That's not what we're doing here. His name is Gwumsh. He took enough psychic damage to give us an edge from being called Gwumsh relentlessly. And then it degraded even farther into Grimace.
It did. I think they just generally didn't know his name, but it was perfect either way.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was perfect. But yes, so we had Gwumsh. And Grumsh hits hard.
He does.
He hits very hard.
He kind of like runs in and just starts smacking.
Yeah.
That spear, dude.
Yeah.
Woof.
And he ended up being, he was resistant to
radiant damage,
fire damage.
So I couldn't do anything.
And lightning damage.
Yeah.
Because it was basically all like, I was like, anything that's like warm or hot or something like that was like radiant, fire, and lightning. Like, I think resistant?
Exactly. Like, I'm pretty sure he was resistant. I think there was something that he was immune to, and it may have been fire damage. Like, there was something that he took none of. And I don't remember which one it was, but he was immune to something.
Yeah. But
that so, like, all the damage that we would have done, like, that hit kind of, like, all of the things that we usually do.
Yep.
With Deegan being a wildfire druid.
Yep.
You being a lightning sorcerer.
Yep.
And Cygnus being just like a cleric.
Yep.
So the only thing I can really hit him with is like radiant or necrotic.
Yeah.
And all of my necrotic spells were touch, and I'm like, I'm not holding his hand.
I'm not going up there.
I'm not touching him.
I'm not going up there. There's no way.
We don't play like that here. So sorry.
No.
I'm not getting in there.
No. So, and then in like a turn of events, I wanted minions because I really wanted the ability to, again, cast some of those higher level spells. So I wanted to be able to, sorry team, #driving. I really wanted to be able to chain lightning. I wanted to get meteor swarm. I wanted to do things that would get multiple people. And so we did that.
And it was Jordan's birthday.
Oh, it was.
So she got her birthday wish.
I did.
I guess.
But the other part was, it was like, we're not going to have, so we lost Baru. And so instead of making another level 20 character, Matthew just plays the 3 minions.
Yeah, he just became a bad guy.
3 bad guys.
Several bad guys.
3. A ranger, a warlock, and a barbarian of bad guys. And he's sitting at the table and he's like, I'm sure I'll have something to do. And he just comes out and he's just attacking the party. Now, I love the idea of one of the players playing minions. We've talked about this. We're probably going to try it a little bit more in Hecna. But that was really entertaining.
Yes, it was cool to see. I think it started out very strong.
Yeah.
I think it started out incredibly strong.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it's a battle. You know, we end up, you know, targeting some of the minions. We're still waiting for the next betrayer god to come out so that we can really like, oh, I'm so sorry, guys. To back up, before we prepped for this, the one thing that Jazz did, after everyone did their preparation spells, she cast Wish to give everyone a long rest. I also tried to give us double hit points, but he said no, you could have one or the other. So obviously I went for the long rest. However, I didn't tell the party because when I read that, and I forgot about this, but it didn't matter. If you use Wish for anything besides casting or recreating an 8th level spell or lower, you will take 1d10 necrotic damage for every spell level you cast after that. So, I mean, and your strength score is reduced to 3, and it's that for 2d4 plus 2 days. It's a long time. You got like a week of downtime for sure. And so I wasn't super stoked to take 1d10 necrotic damage for every spell level I cast, considering we're coming up to a fight. But I did also get the HP boost for being, you know, sort of like a demigod sort of thing, which was cool. So I figured I could probably take it. And I was in good HPs, especially after we healed with the long rest.
Oh, yeah.
So
we were all feeling so fresh.
So fresh.
Going in, feeling good. Full so spell fresh. Slots again. Like, the world was our oyster. And boy, oh boy, was it only our oyster for like a hot second.
I'm trying to remember, and I don't have my notes because we're driving, but we were chatting about all the things that happened. And I guess, like, you know, I mean, again, the you can watch the combat. You know what happens.
It's combat.
It's combat.
People are hitting.
Slinging spells.
So we do.
Doing things.
Clerics are healing to the best of their ability.
Yep. And then we get our next betrayer god. And then we get Zahir. And so we talked about it.
Boy.
We thought about it, and it ended up being, it makes sense. We get Zahir. The benefit of Zahir is that part of his attack does poison damage, which we were immune to poison from our hero's feast. So that's lovely. But he was very dexterous.
Yes. I mean, him snake.
Him snake. And we ended up taking down the minions pretty quickly. The second part, more minions came out, which was great. I mean, again, like,
cool.
I want to cast Meteor Swarm.
Yeah, it made it was getting hairier and hairier progressively. And the stakes were getting higher and higher because, like, I felt like every other turn a new minion was introduced there at the end. Like, holy cow.
Yeah. Between the Manicore and whatever the foxy thing was.
Arcanoloth.
Thank you. And then the lava worm.
Just a lava worm.
At the end. It was perfect. It was exactly what I wanted it to be. We got to pull out all the big stops that we wanted to. I got to do my Meteor Swarm. I got to do the max damage for the Tempest Cleric. Rest in peace, Tempest Cleric class.
Gosh.
Not in 2024.
Beans.
But max damage, I transmuted it from fire to thunder because Zahir was... it was Grumsh that was...
It was Grumsh that was not taking full lightning damage.
Yeah. So transmuted it to thunder, did max damage on that, so at least was able to do... I mean, I think they saved.
You exploded the barbarian with the thunder damage.
I did explode the barbarian. That might have been chain thunder. Because I did chain lightning, but again, I transmuted it to thunder.
Yep.
Because of what's his face not being... And I'm like, no, you do full damage. So we did some cool stuff. We did a reverse gravity at one point.
Which could have... Wow. Yeah. It was real scary a couple of times being that high up in the air. Because, like, I had not cast Steps of Night that combat. And I had not popped my wings out that combat. And either of those things would have been fine.
Yeah.
But then getting dropped on your head from 100 feet up, you know.
Yeah. Well, then we... Like, notable moments were... At least for me... I told Mans from the beginning that Rain dying is off limits. He can help. He can be in the background. I don't care, but he does not die from this combat. I do not want that for his storyline. And so when he was under 100 hit points, we sent him away. So Jazz sent him away and said that you are the legacy of the Sanctuary of Bahamut. This is not where you die. I have already died, so you have to live on without me, and you have to live. And sent him away. And then Fiernan was attacked several times.
Wow.
Targeted by Grumsh.
Yeah.
I think the Arcanoloth? Is it Arcanoloth or Arcanoloth?
That's a great question.
Whatever. That one. Also, like, was attacking Eldaron specifically because he was attacking Grumsh, and all the minions were followers of either Grumsh or
Zahir,
except for the Lava Worm.
The Lava Worm was just a guy. He's like, "Why are you in my house?" and started spewing lava on everyone.
Yeah. So as soon as the meteor swarm came down and kind of like shook the ground, he was like, "What are you kids doing up there? What are you doing on my? Get off my lawn!" Exactly. So that's pretty much what happened there. So Fiernan went down. Cal ended up taking a killing blow for him.
Fiernan. Yeah.
And they both had Death Ward on them, popped back up, but Grumsh targeted Cal.
Yeah.
And so Cal got to use his Pearl of Power. He did, oh, I'm so sorry, Chris. I don't have my notes in front of me.
500
plus, but one strike did 320 something damage. That's our new max.
That's the new max.
For a single hit.
Wow.
328, 324, something like that. Beats 288.
Listen, people like to talk trash about Rangers, but we have the best Rangers.
We do have the best Rangers.
We have the best Rangers. Thanks so much.
But yeah, over 500 points of damage for his turn, and he even missed twice.
He missed twice and still did that much damage.
Correct.
It was 5 shots.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he almost took Grumsh down. We really wanted him to take him down completely, but he saved Fiernan. And he did an incredible amount of damage.
Wow.
To Grumsh. And Grumsh was hurting after the rest of that.
Yeah. Like everything that happened during that combat absolutely had to happen. Had it not gone the exact way that it did, we would not have all survived.
Nope.
Period, point blank. There was no way to win without the casualties that happened.
Agreed.
As
I completely
unfortunate as that is, it sucks. But like, I can see like Cal in my mind's eye, and like the music is swelling behind him, and like every arrow is like going off like a gunshot.
Yep.
You know, like it's just cracking.
Yep.
And just taking bits out of Grumsh as it goes.
And then he blew smoke at us to heal us a little bit as well.
Just like
he healed us and then disappeared into smoke.
By Cal.
Which was such a sick exit for Cal.
Yeah, he just perfect. Like, he is elsewhere.
Yeah.
Not gone, just in the wind.
Yeah, that was hard. We love Cal.
Cal was a good character. Cal was fun.
And so I'll be curious to see kind of how, I know Chris wanted a kind of a specific ending for Cal, and I think he can still have that. So I'll be curious to see how that transforms into like the either C4 or something like that. Next notable moment was the Arcanoloth, whatever the little foxy bitch was.
Yep.
Was counterspelling the shit out of us. Counterspelled a heal. Listen.
Yep.
Listen. You get one of those.
You get one.
One.
You are allowed one counterspell for a healing spell. That's fine. One is enough to be like, okay, like that's it almost, there's a word, and I can't think of what it is, but it's like, it's just incentivizing enough. Like, it adds incentive to the fight. It raises the stakes, but
sure
also,
does.
I did look at Matthew and say, do you want to fight me in real life right now? Like, in real, because, like, you can't, and see, the thing about it is Mans is so far away.
He is.
So I can't say things like that to him, but Matthew was right there.
Yep. Yeah.
And like, I did apologize afterwards, and he's like, no, I'm sorry for doing that to you. I'm like, you should be.
Well,
but
I mean,
also, it
is a smart move. And
it is.
We've talked about this before. The counterspelling of heals, the counterspelling of Revivify, which has also happened. Like those counter spells, they do have a very narrative purpose. And like doing them to just sit there and say like, I will do this is enough to make you go, okay, I either have to subtle spell this if I'm a sorcerer, or I have to be not within 60 feet before I cast these. So I have to be careful, or try to bait them with it. Like it makes you be a little bit more strategic, which our group's not good at. And so doing it once is fine. Doing it more than once is spiteful. And that's where it didn't, but like, that's where you have to be careful, is that it makes a point. It makes you have to be strategic. It makes you think about it, but too much just ends up being like DM versus player, and we're not about that.
It gets icky. Like that's where it gets icky, because like that isn't
feels bad.
That's where the DM stops being on the player's side,
right? Because we're all trying to tell a story, and it is a smart move.
It is.
If you have an intelligent villain, then that makes sense. If you do not have an intelligent villain, they might get one that's a little lucky, or they're like, oh no, I'm not letting you do that this time. But doing it every time is not, it's just not the right move.
It just, like it gets weird. It gets strange. Yeah. But like we did it. I feel like we did it very well. Yeah. Like it was, how we did it was perfect and fine.
Agreed.
And just infuriating enough.
Agreed.
You know?
Agreed. And so, I mean, that was really good. And then, are there any other major things? I mean, we'll obviously talk about everything else, but.
I mean, reverse gravity. Elderon. Well, I mean, that's part of probably all the other stuff we're going to talk about.
So, the other character that went down, and this still breaks my heart, and I have not processed it fully, was Mads, our druid from campaign 1. And so he had a target on his back. We were so excited to have level 20 druids.
Yep.
We were like, this is gonna be great.
We've got it in the bag.
Like unlimited wild shapes, which I forgot about too when I was like, no, Deegan still has enough wild shapes. He has unlimited wild shapes. Like unlimited wild shapes. He can bring Skippy back however much. Little MVP. Skippy also went down. We'll get to
after being a dragon.
Skippy also had 100 hit points. 5 times the druid level. 100 hit points.
Congratulations, Skippy.
Skippy had more hit points than a lot of like wizards have.
Yeah.
Like impressive. And so Skippy was an MVP there. And so Mads had a target on his back. We were so excited that he was going to be able to do unlimited wild shapes. And the gods saw that. They recognized that druidic power. And they destroyed him again and again and again. So in the first fight against the Crawling King, he got hit. He went down. Death Ward came up. And then he got hit again and came up from...
Stone's Endurance?
No, the half-orc one. No, the half-orc one. It's, oh my gosh.
I know.
Relentless Endurance.
Yes.
Came up for Relentless Endurance, did the long rest. We did some more Death Wards. That was another way that we prepped for things. Kind of got the people back.
Everybody re-upped those shits.
And then we did the Wish. We got everyone's stuff back. So he got hit again. He got Death Ward. I think, I don't remember if it was the Manticore or the Arcanoloth, but one of them cast Power Word Kill on Victor at one point. Or was it Mads?
They cast it on Mads at one point, and the Death Ward just
went away.
Off.
Yep. Best use of Death Ward, though.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Absolutely.
That's great. So that was helpful. And then he went down. Relentless Endurance came back up to 1 and popped his. It was really heartbreaking, guys.
It was hard because he had been hit so hard so many times, and he was trying to just like get back up into wild shape form. And like as like a cleric, like I was so far away because like I wanted to, my brain is like, all right, give Jazz the edge for Meteor Swarm, gonna make plenty of room. And then I saw how much room there was, and I'm like, I can't close the distance.
I'm like, I just need a door, open up a window, give me a spot,
something,
literally anything. I don't care, just get somewhere.
Yeah. And I was like, I can't close the distance in a turn, and I can't get there fast enough for Jazz or for Mads or for anyone. And like, just so everyone is 100% clear, I will be playing a support class one more time, and that's it. I'm done with support classes after this one because, like,
who's the next one? Do you consider Amity the? Okay,
yeah. I mean, and she's probably not even going to be like full support. She's going to be more like fun damage. Sure. But anyway, like, that is the last of my support classes. Okay. We're good. We're good after this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the knot in my stomach.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's okay. It's all right. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so then Mads went down. Zahir had moved and he restrained Jazz, which Jazz had to make a strength saving throw to get out of the grapple, or to be restrained. And with the wish spell, her strength was 3. So like -4, -5, I guess -4. Not good team. So could not succeed out of that. Mads was nearby and kept shape changing, but the minions kept beating him down, targeting all of them. And I mean, that's what's supposed to happen, but we just couldn't do it anymore. Mm-mm. And so he popped his pearl of power, and
after he was forced to fail death saves, because the saves were forced. Yeah. And he's like, as an unconscious body, can I pop my pearl?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man. Oh.
I mean, they were going for him. Mm-hmm. So that's what happened. And he made a save, and we don't know. He made one death save, but we don't know what it was.
No.
Do you know what it was?
I don't, but I looked at his face, and I don't think it was good.
I don't think so. He hadn't been rolling above a 6 all night.
No.
Not rolling great.
No.
So he then ends up, he basically calls the 4 spirits of the seasons, of each direction, to his aid. And they basically pull down Ruidus, the red moon, the only moon we have left.
We're out of moons, guys.
We're out of moons. Pulls down the moon onto Zahir. Eldaron took down Grumsh.
Mm-hmm. Eldaron had taken down Grumsh.
Oh yeah, because he used Fiernan's spirit to take him down. Mm-hmm. It was really sweet.
Did a bunch of psychic damage. Finished him off with that psychic dragon damage.
Yeah. Yeah. So then Mads ended up basically pulling the moon down and basically just causing a giant crater into the earth.
Yeah.
And before he did that, he wanted to cast plane shift, and specifically as a spirit, he wanted to offer a hand to all of the allies that if they wanted to get out of there, which, I mean, we have a moon coming down on us, also very limiting in our options.
Yeah, we should probably go because there's a moon
coming down, offering us a plane shift to get us out of there. Mm-hmm. And so we left. I mean, there were final words to Mads and for his sacrifice to get us all out of there. But yeah, that one hurt. And then as far as we know, that there was a beam of energy up that Zahir also was defeated. So as far as we know, we
took out 3.
So we got the Crawling King, we got Glumsh, and we got Zahir.
I don't know how, I know how we did it, and it was through great heroism and sacrifice, but I shut my laptop and I was like, I don't know how the fuck we did that. I don't know how we did that. Mm-hmm. We were far more resilient than I thought we were, which was really, really nice.
I'm super curious to talk to Mans and see how many hit points they had and things like that, and
how did he think it was gonna go?
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, did you think that the Crawling King was gonna be it?
Yeah.
Did you look at no way?
No.
Right? No way.
No.
But the fact that he then, after Zahir got girded, had more betrayers ready.
Oh yeah. And he sure did.
I think that would have been it, though.
He had Chris roll. He offered to roll a d20 to see which betrayer god. Well, actually, no. He knew which betrayer god was be next. That was just his initiative, I think. And it would have been Vecna. After like one more turn, it would have been Vecna.
I'm making a face, which does not read in this audio media. But like, yeah, I think that probably would have been curtains for the rest of us.
I think so too.
So like,
I think so too.
I'm glad that we dipped when we did. Because it could have gotten, that would have been it. And, you know, Jordan and I were talking about it earlier, and just, you know, we were, like, we still had spell slots left, but, like, all of our hit points were getting a little hairy and a little bit slim. And, like, with that meteor swarm, or moon swarm, rather, coming down, like, that would have probably damaged a significant amount of us. Like, and there was nothing else that we could do past that point.
Nope.
Like, if we would have stayed for another round, that would have been it. And us dying at that point was not tactical, was not strategic, would help no one. Nope. Like, there's nothing that we can do after that.
Agreed.
Yeah. And, like, yes, would it have been inherently heroic to die there? Sure. But, like, also, it doesn't serve a purpose at that point.
No, I will, this is where I'm torn, because yes, I was ready for Jazz to die again. She's already dead. I was ready for her to go. I was like, that's what she would do. She would fight until the end. But also, like, at that moment, we were never gonna be able to defeat another betrayer god. We got 3 down. We don't have a 4th in us.
No.
I mean, and I had double the hit points. We had the long rest, but I had to Misty Step to get out of the restrained from Zahir, and that was a 2nd level spell, and I took 18 points of necrotic damage from it. I rolled almost max damage. And I mean, like, I did banishment. I even upcast it, trying to get more people. They fucking just ignored and laughed at, like, that whole thing. So I did nothing, and I still took, like, 60 points of damage from casting it. It was just, like, I couldn't. I was going to kill myself, but I was at, like, 82 hit points, which is still a good amount of hit points, but, like...
But that's one hit.
One hit.
That's one, and, like, if... Have we said who was coming through next? Have we?
We did.
Okay, so, and then if Vecna would have then showed up and then cast, I don't know, Meteor Swarm.
Power word kill.
Either of those things. 82 hit points feels like a good block until you take a meteor to the face.
Yeah, it really, exactly.
Like, that's how that looks.
Exactly.
And, I mean, like, what?
We had gotten to the point where we were no longer... Not that we weren't useful, but, like, all the good that we could do had been done.
It
was done.
And, like, I said it, like, jokingly when we started this stuff out. I'm like, I think we've got 3 in us. I didn't think that we actually had 3 in us.
We did.
We lost some really good friends along the way.
We did.
But we had 3 in us.
We did. But, I mean, it came to the point where us staying was no longer tactical.
Nope.
It wasn't smart. And it wasn't going to do any good.
No.
Because if the benefit was really to... Like, we were really trying to kill betrayers. It wasn't stalling for longer. If it was, like, stalling for as many rounds as possible, then yeah, I guess we could have stayed and fought. But, like, was us dying really worth 2 more rounds?
Exactly. And,
I
like,
don't think so.
There's also one of the thought processes is, of course, so it's been made clear, like, man's made sure to make it clear that, like, these characters have officially reached their sunset.
Yes.
Like, they will not be coming back. We will not be playing as them again. Like, this is it for them.
Yep.
But then on the other hand, it's like, tactically speaking, what we would then do is wait to see what happens with C3, and then maybe in a wrap-up episode be like, tactically, this is how we would go back and presumably finish the job.
That's a great point.
Or try to finish the job.
That's a great point.
We got it started, how are we going to press the fight? How are we going to, like, keep the pressure on them?
I think that's a great point.
Yeah.
And because you're right. I mean, again, there's heroism, there's bravery, and then there's being tactical.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would have just been, quite frankly, stupid.
Yeah.
For us to just, like, run back in and keep pushing until we died. Like, that's not helping anyone.
Oh God, what I say earlier was really good.
Something about valor.
Discretion is the better part of valor. And I think that's how the saying goes. It is like an old saying, but I think it's discretion. So, like, discretionarily speaking, like, we were like, you know what? We're going to come back.
Yeah.
We're going to finish the job.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we can't finish it today, and
nope.
we can't finish it right now.
Nope. And that's fine. I mean, the other, like, it's really easy to be like, my character would die in this moment, but then you're dying in the moment, and I was panicking.
Exactly.
I was ready for Jazz to die, but I was like, I know I can't out-heal myself. Like, I cannot out-heal. So, like, even if I did Cure Wounds level 4, for example,
you're still taking damage from it.
Right. I would be healing myself 4d8 plus my wisdom modifier, which is like a +3. Like, I'm a sorcerer, a mediocre cleric at best. And then, but I would take 4d10 necrotic damage from casting that spell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I literally, like, unless I rolled super great for the heal and super crap for the damage, I couldn't take that risk.
No,
I just couldn't. And it was like, I was panicking because then, like, with my strength being 3, I thought it only made sense. I was like, can Jazz even fly with her dragon wings? Like, she has draconic wings from level 14. Like, can she even fly with a strength of 3? And we kind of decided that, like, yes, but her movement speed would be slower. And so I decided once she kind of got down to, like, half damage or half hit points or less, like, her speed would be like 20 feet instead of 30 feet. And I could not get out of there. Someone who was restrained, had no strength, was being beaten to crap because Zahir had advantage on his attacks against me and crit, I believe, a couple of times.
It was a couple of times.
Like, I couldn't do anything. And I was just like, I was panicking.
Yeah, and
so
like,
it was really easy to be brave in the moment.
Exactly.
Or brave beforehand and
because
chicken in the moment.
I was in the same spot for me. Like, I had come to terms with Cygnus's death so many times.
Yep.
I was ready for it to happen, and it was okay. And then the magma worm froze me in place.
Yep.
And I had, like, less than 100 hit points, and I was like, I can't. No.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to go.
No.
And, like, Bill and I had planned out, like, how Cygnus and Victor would have gone.
Sure.
We had plans for it, which made it a little bit easier.
Sure.
And, like, almost a little bit exciting, because it would have been cool to have pulled that out.
Sure.
But, like, in the moment, it's like, but I don't want to.
No.
Like, I don't want to.
No.
I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose her.
No.
You know?
Yeah, it was interesting because I was so prepared for it too, and I couldn't do it.
No.
It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense in the moment. It just felt like a stupid decision to, like, run in unprepared and injured and, like, keep fighting when, like you said, tactically. And, like, don't be wrong, like, Jazz isn't the most tactical person, but if we have a moon...
Neither is Cygnus.
But if we have a moon falling down on us...
And the option to leave...
We're leaving.
Exactly. Like, I do not think that our characters have lived or existed for as long as they have and are that, like, slap happy.
Agreed.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that they would have made that decision in the moment. Because,
Agreed.
like, Eldaron is leading the SOB.
He is,
but he can't die, right?
No, he can.
Oh.
He just doesn't age.
Oh.
So with the mark
he could
of
have
Jazz,
died.
He could absolutely have died. But he doesn't age.
Okay.
But once he passes the mark on to another, he will age quickly to his natural age, which means if he was going to die of old age, he would die.
Disintegrates to dust.
Yeah. But I also don't believe, I don't know that Spin has necessarily thought about this, but Eldaron would have, especially after Jazz died.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not leaving the SOB and fight and go, because Eldaron's always been hands-on with the battles. He's not sending other people to do his dirty work. He's there. He's leading the front. Like, that's what he does. there is a 0% chance that he, as a tactically minded character, would do that and not have a backup plan for someone to lead the SOB.
And like, props to Spin too, because Spin was the first person, and this is me absolutely giving him props for this. He was the first person to kind of like not take us aside, but like in the aside text message would be like, hey, I think it's time to go.
I know, and I was like, who are you guys? What are you talking about? And then I was just like, oh wait, the first actually, one to beat feet. It's kind of like,
no, we were the first ones to beat feet.
Well, no, it's just because he asked you guys first. But
yes.
Well, you know, like, I mean, it's like in Lethal Company. If you watch any of our shorts, I as Jordyn, apparently, if I am given the option of fight or flight, it is flight every time.
Flight.
I am not a fighter. I am purely a scream and run away.
Fight, apparently flight, fawn, or
I have no idea.
Freeze. Those are the two new ones are fawn or freeze.
What is fawn?
Fawn is like trying to like appease the thing that is making you afraid.
Okay.
But
I guess I could see that.
Either
way, I'm still a flight regardless.
And I'm freeze because I got stuck in the bowels of Lethal Company and no one was alive, and I was like, how do I quit the game? I don't even want to run. I just want to stop.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
so I mean, like,
yeah,
I like, would it have been heroic? Maybe. Would it have been smart and tactical? No, it doesn't make sense. So I am excited I'm glad we made that decision. I'm devastated by the loss of Cal and Mads. Baru was lovely. Obviously didn't spend that much time with him, so less attached, but it was a beautiful exit. I love the dragon egg that we definitely took with us wherever that is. I was going to say that Rain took it, because in my head I can imagine that he was like, ooh, pretty, and like knew what it was and took it.
Rain's got a bag on him somewhere.
Oh yeah,
like a saddle.
Oh yeah, I mean, he either has a saddle if he wants it in dragon form, but then like, you know, in his human form. But, you know, so I'm excited to see how that goes, because I think that, well, I'm just curious.
I'm curious to see if we will get like a quick wrap up, like, because also like it's plane shift, so we don't know where we're at.
I think we're gonna be in the Feywild, because that's the only place that Mads's family was also in the Feywild. So I think that's the main place that he plane shifts to. So I think that would be like, in his moment, reaching out to the spirits and the Fey, we'd go to the Feywild.
Yeah.
And Jazz has the ability to plane shift and has a tuning fork to the material plane, but I also don't know how long she's going to be able to stay, because she's not a prime deity. She's a demigod at best. So does the divine wall apply?
Oh shit, what happens to Jazz?
I don't know.
Oh wow.
I don't know.
Oh wow.
I know. I thought the same thing. I was like, does she, because I mean, like, she's like has to do like light activity, but I mean, she can rest up in Mount Celestia, but like, does she just go back? If she gets stuck and she dies here, she's just going to go back. So I don't really know what happens with that.
Is Jazz how we figure out what happens when the divine wall goes up?
Maybe that'll be our first real clue.
That's wild. That's wild to think about. Okay.
So, yeah. Because I was thinking about like what I wanted, like Jazz's like final little thing, and it wouldn't have been very long, or anything, because I don't think she would stay long on the material plane. I think she would go back pretty quickly. Maybe like she'd stay like a week, you know, at most, just to kind of make sure everything was in order as needed to be. But I think she would go back pretty quickly. But I was wondering, I was like, oh, what happens when like C3's done and presumably the divine wall goes up? What happens?
What? Holy cow. Okay.
So I'll be curious. We definitely need a little bit of wrap up, because I can't just like end it on your plane shifted and that's the end of your story. Like,
and you're gone. You're somewhere else.
That's not how the story ends.
Congratulations. The end of your story is you're elsewhere.
Yeah.
Bye.
2 thumbs up.
Cool.
Bye. So we'll just have to see with that.
Yeah. Like I'm fascinated. I can't wait to see what happens. Like, and I can't wait to give and something that's been like for like in me for a while is like, you know, I wanted like through like, am I the ultimate master of Cygnus' story? Yes. Mm-hmm. Did things happen in her story that I was like, oh man, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry I did that to you. I apologize. Yes, absolutely. But now at the end, with how things wrapped up, like I can give her a soft ending.
Yes, you can.
And I can make it gentle and like.
You can do the olive branch that you were talking about.
We have time.
Yep, you got time now.
Not much, but enough to be like, you guys helped us so good.
Yeah.
Like, and like I'm excited to play with what that looks like, because I think like during the fight, it was specifically for Cygnus, like seeing Jazz go above and beyond and knowing that Jazz has that connection to like the primes, and like not that she did not respect Jazz before, because obviously she did, but they'd only fought together that one time though.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we, other than like trying to make the relationship with the like Twilight's Accord, which in the, you know, the beginning, yeah, we had the one battle together.
Yeah.
And then 20 to 30 years of no contact, because how long were Victor and Cygnus on the sea for before they made the SOB? I'm sorry, Twilight's Accord.
I think it was a while. Like it was, I'm gonna say, I think that we had like 15 years.
Yeah.
To like be just like regular like deckhands and pirates and just kind of like running from what happened.
Yeah.
And like trying to like, Cygnus's whole thing was like throwing herself into work.
Sure.
And into being busy.
Sure.
So that she did not have to face the thing.
Sure.
And then like Victor doing his thing and like kind of gaining us not a following at that point in time, but a crew that we like worked with, and then a crew that respected us, and then our own ship, and then a couple of ships, and then a fleet of like trading vessels, you know, like it started out as just like trading vessels, and then it became something else.
Yeah. So I mean, it had been, I mean, years until both of our establishments, for lack of a better word, even though I don't like that word for them.
Establishment. Both of our movements.
I like that, thank you. Until both of our movements really gained ground and we were even able to come back and communicate again. And so, I mean, it wasn't really like, we weren't that close. Maybe, you know, respect for a fellow adventurer and fighter of wrongdoings, but other than that was
just
it.
Like I saw you, we fought together one time, and we have that like battle bond.
Yeah, you got my back, I got yours.
It's like I will fight with you because I've seen you fight, and I know that you're a good fighter.
Yeah.
And then like seeing Bahamut come in and like wipe away the arrows, and then like limp away with the chained oblivion chasing him.
Yeah.
And like having that moment of like. And, like, it's not like we were ever directly aggressive towards the primes.
No.
But, like, seeing how, like, the primes message could be changed and used to harm people.
Sure. Yeah.
And, like, having that, like, frame of reference that entire time.
Sure.
And, like, watching it be used to harm people and, like, control people.
Yeah.
And we're like, that's not a vibe. But now that, like, not now that the primes are, like, fighting in person, but like the primes have taken a stance, and the primes are moving forward and like actually they're fighting for the future of Exandria, and they're taking care of Exandria in a very, very real and visible way.
Yeah.
And like, hell yeah.
Well, I love that. I'm excited to see, I mean, you know, if we get a minute to say how things end for them, I'm excited to see what happens to everyone.
Yeah, like
how does this change things for people? Does it change things for people?
Exactly. Like what does this look like now? Like what have we done? What did that battle accomplish?
Yeah. Can I ask too?
Of course.
The staff that Cygnus had that aged her.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know how much she got aged? Do you know how much she
I
aged?
didn't use all of the charges.
So does she only age if she uses all the charges?
It is only if you use all the charges. I played it as strategically as possible.
In my brain, I was like, oh my god, how much did she just age from casting Mass Cure Wounds on us? You know, I was panicking for you, so good, I'm glad.
I was like using my spell slots and then using the staff when I like needed support, but like it was one of the staff slots that got counterspelled, and I was like, so like I used that, and I'm like, I'm glad I'm playing it safe, but I still have extra charges if I need them, but like Cygnus would probably super age and then be done, you know, like she would have crumpled on the battlefield more than likely, and like she would have died of old age in the middle of a fight, and that's buck wild to
that
me.
Is absolutely bananas. Like, wow, she died in battle, and it's like, yep,
she did.
It was definitely
it was a heart attack
battle. So yes, definitely died in battle.
Yeah. But yeah, like, and I'm excited to see like how Jazz kind of like not writes the SOB, because the SOB has never been going in a bad direction, but just kind of like puts everything to like checks the systems.
I mean, and I don't even think like I trust Spin and Elderon. Like, I don't think it's gone in the wrong direction. Just kind of seemed like, do you need help with anything while I'm here?
Yeah.
You good? Do you know what's happening after you're gone? Make sure to get that into place now. Thanks.
Do you have a plan?
Do you have someone to pass on the mark to?
Oh, and like
that's really, I mean, in my brain, I mean, that's not fair. I was going to say, like, in my brain, that's how, like, you pass on the leader, but, like, it's not, Jazz was not the leader of the SOB. It was always Jazz and Elderon, and there's a council and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if Elderon's plan was to pass it to someone on the council or to pass it to another adventurer, because it really is like an adventuring mark. Like, it allows you to add your, I don't remember if I made it charisma or proficiency bonus to your AC, but it adds something to your AC. You can be telepathically communicated to up to 5 dragons, and you can hover if you're within 15 feet of a dragon, and there's other benefits, and like, you don't age, but you can only pass it on to someone who's a friend of a dragon, like, or friend to the dragons. Like, you can't pass it on. Not that anyone would, but like
FTTD, friend to the dragons.
Yeah. So like, I assume that Elderon will have a plan for that, but I don't know if Spin will have a plan for that. So we'll see what that looks like. Victor's obviously with Cygnus.
Mm-hmm.
Deegan.
Buddy.
I don't know if I've processed that enough to talk about it.
That's
I feel like I want to wait until I see what actually happens before I talk about it. But I'm going to need Deegan to pick a better ending than he did in the end of C2.
Uh-huh.
And do you hear me out there? A better ending.
Are you listening?
Don't do it again. Don't do it.
Yeah. Jordyn has my full support and full backing. And please don't do it twice. Stay safe.
So we'll
Stay
see.
with your friends.
Yeah. So we'll
Thank
see.
you. Yeah.
So we'll see what's in store. I mean, he's got Skippy can't die. He's a wildfire spirit.
Skippy's fine. Who else? I think that's it. That's everybody that survived except for Rundar.
Yep, we'll see what happens with Rundar. I mean, he's earned his retirement. We don't know how Rundar's story ends. I mean, he is safe. He will not die. That was off limits when he chose not to enter this battle, but wanted to be helpful some other way.
Mm-hmm.
So he will be safe. Jerome, Fiernan, Rain all live. So that's good. So we got them. I think that's it. I mean, you know, there were some big things that happened. We lost a few good ones. Ugh.
That was a wild month. That was a wild month of D&D.
And like, one thing I do want to say, I don't think I've said it on, I definitely haven't said it on this episode, but props to Mans, because there's a lot of reasons why people don't get to level 20, because balancing combat with a level 20 like characters can be so challenging. There's a lot of reasons why people don't like parties of 6 players, because balancing combats can be super challenging. But having a party of not 6 but 8 level 20 characters, balancing it and being willing to run it for 5 sessions?
5 sessions.
5 weeks, guys. I mean, a round of applause, you know?
That's going to sound so weird on the podcast.
Perfect. I love it.
But, like, we have to, it's mandatory. We have to compliment our DM every podcast because he's fantastic. And also, he is our self-professed #1 fan. So
that's true. That's true.
But, like, literally, the story does not exist if, like, without Mans's hard work. Like, the things would not happen if he did not put so much love and time into these things. And, like, to give, instead of when we said, all right, we're plane shifting, he did not affect it in any way.
Nope.
He said,
he let it
do
go.
what you will.
If that's what you want to do it.
Absolutely. And, like, that feels good that he wasn't, like, he didn't try to move the story in one direction or the other.
Nope.
He wasn't, like that. He allowed our characters agency, but, like, we had agency in that choice, which is the most important thing that, like, you as players can have, is, like, I'm in control of my story.
Yep.
And, like, but also, like, yeah, balancing combat with 8 level 20s, I'm gonna just throw a bunch of gods at them.
And 2 adult dragons.
2 adult dragons.
With legendary actions.
You guys got to do legendary actions. Like, that was one of the coolest things. Like, I loved hearing you and Spin both pop and be like, I would like to take a legendary action.
My legendary action at the end of this turn, please. Thank you.
It's my turn.
I remembered one thing that I don't think we talked about.
Okay.
You guys will have to forgive us if we forgot something, because we were chatting about this and they're like, what are we doing? Record this. So that's why we came in with, like, no fluff talk at the beginning. There's no moons.
Oh, yeah, there's no moons. Hey, guys, we're out of moons.
So,
Mads,
Lolth first destroyed Selûne.
Mm-hmm.
What is her other name?
Katha?
No.
Sehanine, the Moon Weaver.
There you go. There's no moon, so that was destroyed, and then we only had the red moon. We already don't have sunlight in the Great Calamity for the last year, and now we have no moons.
So, but, like, also, so where is because if we don't have sunlight, so, like, the red moon was not being illuminated. So it's not like the red moon was giving us a light source.
That's a good
whatsoever, point. Like, unless it has some sort of otherworldly and malevolent glow, which I would believe for reasons.
Sure.
It's haunted.
It's not like it's not like the sun went away. It's just that our sky has been darkened.
And it's like
by the calamity and the energy and the portals and the constant opening and, like,
the magic, just, like, currents that are, like, constantly, like, covering Exandria. He said that, like, it looked like you were looking into the Milky Way from the battlefield.
It's true.
Yeah.
So then the question is, once the divine wall is up, does the sky go back to normal? Now that we have no moons, do they take time? I mean, Ruidus is, Katha is
a moon. Just a normal moon.
Well, yeah, but also, like, Selûne is the moon goddess. When she gets stronger, will she be able to bring the moon, a new moon in, a moon back?
Like, build it back from its scraps?
Can she just, like, raise the pieces back up and, like, make herself whole again? Because if we have no moons, now this is, I know we're playing in a fantasy game, but this is still very much, like, are there no tides in the ocean?
No, this is good commentary. This is what we're here for.
Like, are there no tides?
What were the tides like when there were 2 moons?
That's a great question.
Were they extremely turbulent? Like,
that's an excellent question. Like, what happened there? And so Ruidus is, okay, we know Critical Role, that there is
spoilers.
Critical Role.
It's not, because the campaign's over. But hey, guys, Critical Role spoilers, just buckle up.
Campaign 3, spoiler. Perdathos was in the moon.
That was his prison.
But he's not a god. So, like, Ruidus was made from... Okay, well, Ruidus was made from a chunk of Exandria.
Yes, it was a removed crater.
So there's really zero reason for that to come back. But we don't know if Perdathos exists in our world.
Exactly. So we're unsure of, like, what the exact, like, what that means for us. Because I was thinking about it, and I'm like, did Mads's final, like, big heroic moment end up, like, releasing the spirit of this god eater onto our world?
Well, and that's kind of the other. Oh, there's so many questions.
There's so many fucking questions.
Because, like, okay, on top of that, does the divine wall go around Ruidus? So is Prodathos only eating gods that have been trapped on this side of the divine gate?
Oh my.
Or divine wall?
What?
Or is he trapped on the outside? Now the gods that we've killed and or saved are now going to get eaten.
Are not, like, if he is a part of this universe, like, I like the reality where he's trapped on Exandria better.
I do too. And then if there's anyone who we don't quite kill and makes it, aka Vecna, just gets eaten.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of questions about that, and there's a lot of material for Mans to work with, and I think that we're just not going to get an answer yet, and that's fine.
Campaign 4 is going to start, like, what was the projected start date? Like, the end of this year? Okay.
Well, you know, I think it was probably the end of this year, but it depends on our other mini campaigns, because we have, like, a lot of other stuff that we can have going on, but, like, yeah, so stay tuned on that.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's going to look like yet.
No?
But C4, I guess we'll have more information and get some answers.
Yep.
But maybe, so our finale, guys.
Yep.
Is going to be live. And by live, I mean we're all going to be in person.
Yep.
So the recording's going to be a little different, but we're all going to be there. It might be rambunctious. It might be less rambunctious, but we're going to have a recording. We don't know how long it's going to take. And we'll hopefully try to get some, like, end of session, like, interviews for everyone. So stay tuned for that.
I've got to pull out my tiny mic.
The tiny mic. Yes.
Tiny mic for in-person interviews.
Yes. And so please, guys, I think that's all we have.
That's kind of it. Like, I mean, final notes for Sylvie, final notes for Phoebe walking in. All right. You got it.
Not yet, because I still don't know. We're going to do, like, a little fireside chat when coming up, so there'll be some extra stuff coming in, so look out for that. Please, please, please like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell if you want to be notified when we upload a new video, but interact with it. It helps.
Anything really is nice. Just let us know that you're there. Tell us about your gardens.
Yes.
Tell us about your pets. Tell us about your D&D campaigns. Like,
I'm so excited, guys.
I'm fascinated. Like, I play D&D because I love it, and I want to know about everybody else's D&D stuff.
Yeah. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for coming along with us. And I know it's another driving episode, which is always kind of questionable with things, but thank you so much. And we'll see you guys next time.
We'll see you guys real soon.
Bye.
Bye. There's so much. I could have kept talking.
I wonder if I should let you out before.
I mean, do we need to get anything? I mean,
well, I just don't know if that's gonna. The stuff that's there. Oh, are we still recording?
Oh, God.
Oh, bye.
Bye.